Good afternoon. My name is T&RWilcox, and I'm 34 years old. Today, I have a testimony for you. I know many people do not like to tell a testimony, but I'm one of the people who would like to share my testimony to other people. Maybe this testimony can help someone else that was in my situation. We're going to start off when I was 15 years old, when I was third-degree burned, 50% of my body. They told my mother that I wasn't burned so bad, and they said that I only had 20% of my burn. But when we made it to the Greenville Burn Center, and they came back in the room, they told my mother I was third-degree burned. I was the age of 15 years old. I stayed in the burn center for a year and 6 months. My mother lost her husband while I was in the burn center. I had 126 surgeries. My body still is not perfect, but I still live each and every day. As it's like I live my life as it, nothing changed. When I came home from the burn center, I was bending over. I couldn't walk straight up. And one of my mother's friends came along, and he told me he would pay me $200 if I lift my skin, raise myself up, and walk straight. I never seen my mother cry. Not one time when I was in the burn center. I never seen her until one day I got up to go to the bathroom. And I was calling my mother, but she never answered me. I never heard her say anything. So as I walked to the bathroom door, and I opened the bathroom door, I seen my mother crying for the first time. And the words she came out of her mouth was that you are the second child that had been burned, but you the only one had lived. And on through my life, I was called names. I was talked about, criticized. People did everything in their power to hurt me. On up in the ages when I got grown, and I had less self-esteem back then, but I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what to talk to somebody because I didn't know how to talk to somebody. Excuse me for crying. And as I was growing up in life, I always had God in my life. I gave him my life at the age of 11 years old. I gave my life to Christ because I know God had my back, and no matter what. I got burned on a Sunday. I went to church on a Sunday, and I got burned that Monday. And if it wasn't for my stepdaddy, I wouldn't even be here today. I thank God for my stepdaddy, because that man saved my life. He saved my life. When he don't even know, he saved my life. Because when my stepdaddy was walking, he was coming from outside, and as he was walking in the house, and I had panicked at the time, and I ran with the fire, and my dress was in flames. And as my stepdaddy walked through the front door, he seen me in flames, and my stepdaddy snatched the dress off of me. And right to this day, I thank that man, because that man saved my life many years ago. And I'm 34 years today. I'm so grateful. So grateful. When they told me I couldn't even have children, I know it was a God somewhere. When they told me I couldn't have children, said I wouldn't be able to have children. They even told me, said my stomach won't even gonna stretch wide enough for me to have a child. But I'm a living testimony. I don't have one. I have 5 beautiful children. When the devil told me I couldn't have children, God showed me the better way. And on through my life, as I was growing up, at the age of 22 years old, I had 2 children. I had a boy and a girl. And at the time, I was living with my grandmother. And I was on my way to the grocery store one day. And I was at the grocery store and I got a phone call from my grandmother. And she said, Tiffany, I think you need to get back to the house. Because she said, your son is foaming at the mouth. He's not breathing. So they called 911. And when they called 911, they pronounced my baby dead on the scene. They pronounced him dead on the scene. So you cannot tell me what God won't do. As they pronounced my son dead on the machine, this story might touch somebody. It might touch somebody. But this is my testimony. And as they pronounced my son dead, my cousin, who was coming home from school, he asked me he asked my grandma what was going on. And as my grandma was explaining to him, he took the cover from over his face. He took the cover from over his face and gave him CPR. And brought him back. You know, many people. The doctors told me that my baby had blood something wrong with his brain. But as that night, I started praying over my son. And I asked God to move all the niggas vibe in this room. Each and everything that they said my son had, I asked him to move it. Move it. And as we got ready to go through the tests, we went back to start to go take his test. And we was back there about an hour or 2. And then they brought us back to the room when the doctor came back in the room. And he said, Miss Scott, we didn't find no blood vessel on his brain. We didn't find nothing wrong with his brain. And that's when I gave God all the power and the glory. Because many people in this world don't want to speak to their testimony. But I'm a sister with a testimony. And I don't mind sharing my testimony. This testimony might help somebody else out here in this world. They went through the same thing that I went through. And as I was going through life, I came up pregnant one more time. I didn't know I was pregnant. Didn't even know I was pregnant. I was living with my mother at the time. Didn't even know I was pregnant. My blood pressure kept jumping higher and higher. And my mama came to me one day. She said, Tiffany, you need to go to the emergency room to see what's wrong with your blood pressure. I said, Mom, I'm fine. So I got the courage to get up and go to the hospital. Oh, when I made it to the hospital, they took me to the back and they did a pregnancy test on me. And it came back that my pregnancy test was positive. And then it came back and told me that I was 6 months pregnant. The whole time. The whole 6 months. I didn't feel this child moving. I didn't feel this child kick. I didn't feel this child doing nothing. Because on like a couple months before then, they told me I had a miscarriage with this same child. This same exact child they told me I had a miscarriage with. But my blood pressure had kept jumping. When I went to the hospital and they told me I was pregnant, when I say this child started moving around, this child started kicking, this child started knowing, let me know that he was in there. I had a rough life. At the time, I was dating my baby father. I was dating my baby father. That was very abusive to me. This man used to beat me from day in to day out. I didn't know was I was going to comedy. And on down the line, I asked God, I said, Lord, if you take me from this situation, I promise you, I won't go back. You know, God took me from that situation. And when he took me from that situation, I moved to Greenville, Mississippi. I stayed down there about a year. I came back to Jackson. I met a young man named William Henry. Didn't know. I had 3 children at the time. And my youngest wasn't even but a couple of months. But like 6, maybe 3 or 4 months. And we moved in with him. I never forget it. I had just came out the kitchen. And I sat on the side of the bed. The man that I was dating at the time, he was sitting there doing some type of work on his boat. Because it was hunting season. And as I went to lift my son up, at the time he wasn't but about 1. He had just turned 1. And so I got up in the bed to get him to change his pamper. And then I know that my son was looking kind of funny in the face. Real funny in the face. Didn't know what it was. Then the next thing I know, his body got so weak. It seemed like his body just wasn't there. And then when I yelled out, I said, something ain't right. My son not breathing. He not breathing. He not breathing. I called his name and I called his name. He never respond. So when I called the paramedics, my son wasn't responding still. After the paramedics had made it, he wasn't responding. He wouldn't say nothing. Maybe about an hour before they left, because they were trying to get him together. They were trying to get his life, bring him back to me. You know what I'm saying? But it was one hurtful feeling. One very hurtful feeling. Yeah, I don't understand. Well, you got a testimony. Yeah, I need to share that testimony. Because you don't ever know when God gonna give you another testimony. And after that, we made it to the emergency room. When I say my son didn't know my name, my son didn't know who I was. And the only person he knowed was the dude that I was dating at the time. And he walked up and he called his name. And he answered him. He was just looking. But he wasn't talking. He was just looking. And he kept hollering, mama, mama, mama. So he kept hollering, mama. But I'm right there in his face. And he acted like he didn't even know me. All through the life. All the way through. That son had problems. All through his life. He 11 years old. Right to this day. My son still have problems. He's not a normal child. But he's normal to me. Because you know why? I know God gave me this child for a reason. It don't matter what I was going through with this child. It don't matter what that I went through with this child. But I know God gave me this child for a reason. Yeah, I got to understand. God do things for a reason. We all got a reason why we here on this earth. But as I was going on in life, he started getting a little better and everything. He started feeling a little better and everything. But look at the devil once again. The devil had entered my home once again. At that time when he was about 2, I had found out I was pregnant with twins. He had just turned 2 when I found out that I was pregnant with twins. Imagine that my sister had just had a baby in April. And I came in April, I found out that I was pregnant with twins. So December the 1st, I had them 2009, I had the twins. When they was here, they came. My mother passed away. My mother passed away a month after my twins made it here. I lost my mother January the 25th, 2010. One of the worst days I ever had in my life. Y'all young ladies, I'm here to tell you, when you lose your mother, when you lose her, you don't have no one else in this world. You don't have no one else in this world. And the reason I made this post, because I wanted to tell somebody about my testimony. Because I know that man up above been so good to me. So after I had them, my mother died in 2010. All through the life, my baby was 6 months. We was sitting in the chair watching TV. And all of a sudden, our son started having seizures. He started having them back to back. And I told God, I know you did this for a reason. Because you know my strength. I don't mean to cry, y'all. I don't mean to cry. But y'all got to know what changes God would do for you, baby. Because that man opened many doors for me. And I'm not ashamed to say it. He have opened many doors for me. When I was homeless, people shut doors in my face. People criticized me. People talking down on me. But I met my husband while I was homeless. When I say this man didn't know me, he didn't know me. He didn't know me at all. And so I know it wasn't nobody but God brought this man. Yes, he got flaws. We all got flaws. We is not perfect. No one in this world is perfect. But you got to know, when you serve a powerful God, he is powerful. You just got to know, he is very powerful. And no matter what you go through, this video might touch a lot of people. I might do this video for somebody. I don't know. It's somebody out there might need to hear this. But you gotta know, God give you a testimony, baby. Share. I got to understand, baby. My life ain't been perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. But one thing I do, I serve God. And I know what he'll do. And I pray this video go viral. I pray it go viral. Because somebody needs to know about a testimony. Somebody needs to know that God is real. He is real. And no matter what you go through, just know he is real. All you gotta do is keep your faith in him. Keep your faith in him. I read this book every day. In the book called 1 Minute for Deliverance for Women. This book is real good. You can find this book in your local stores, Walmart, anyone that sell Bibles. You can find this book. And for all the women out there with low self-esteem, just have faith in God and keep all your strength in God. And he will make a way. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to me. I thank you for taking out the time to look at this video. But if you don't mind, can you like, share, comment, and subscribe? And before I leave y'all today, just know we serve a powerful God. A powerful God. And whoever needed this video, whoever this video for, whoever it is for, whoever need to hear these words, my prayers be with you, no matter what. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cry. But I had to make this video. Because you don't ever know who out there need to hear this. But you just know, bro. God is alive and well. You hear me? He answers every prayer. He just give it to him. Let go and let God. Because I promise you, he gonna answer them prayers for you, no matter what you go through. Stay strong. Stay strong.